Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. Since over the past decade, China has gradually transformed from a low-quality manufacturing base into a high-spending market. For many international brands, this means huge business opportunities. It is precisely because of this fertile land that many brands regard China as the key to global expansion. Apple has also achieved great success in the Chinese market, but now Apple is becoming anxious. Cook visited China again, donated $25 million, and suspended the transfer of the industrial chain. Cook attaches great importance to the Chinese market. When talking about which international brands are doing particularly well in the Chinese market, China has to mention Apple. This technology company, known for its innovation and unique design, is deeply loved by Chinese consumers with its products such as iPhone, iPad and Mac. However, product advantages alone are not enough to explain Apple's huge success in China. More importantly, Apple CEO Tim Cook pays very high attention to the Chinese market. Since taking over Apple's banner, Cook has personally visited China many times to communicate with Chinese partners and consumers. Each of his visits is considered a major event in the industry. His sincerity and in-depth understanding of the Chinese market have won Apple the trust of many Chinese consumers. 2023 is a special year for the world. After a period of blockade, China has reopened its doors to welcome international friends. Among the first batch of visiting foreign entrepreneurs, Apple's Cook was among the first. This behavior once again proves his great importance to the Chinese market. His visit was not a simple business trip. He participated in China's high-level development forums and communicated with many parties to understand China's current economic environment and market trends. After the release of the Apple 15 series, he once again went to China to interact closely with Chinese fans and consumers to promote this new product. Cook's high level of attention to the Chinese market is not only reflected in his frequent visits, but also in his in-depth understanding of Chinese culture, consumption habits, and market dynamics. He understands that to succeed in this market, he cannot simply copy the models in other countries, but must truly integrate and establish sincere connections with Chinese consumers. Although Apple has achieved great success in the Chinese market, this does not mean that its road has been smooth sailing. Globally, Apple is facing pressure from declining sales. But what is surprising is that under such circumstances, the performance of Greater China has shown a trend of rising against the trend. How is this done? Apple's success in China is no accident. As the market environment changes, Apple has implemented an industry chain transfer strategy. In the past, China mainly played the role of Apple's production base, but now, with the improvement of consumption power, China has become an important sales market for Apple. In order to adapt to this change, Apple has increased its investment in China, not only adding more retail stores, but also improving local research and development capabilities to meet the special needs of Chinese consumers. This transfer strategy has brought Apple a new growth point in the Chinese market, and also attracted a large number of local suppliers and partners. Success also brings challenges. As Apple's influence in the Chinese market grows, China has begun to impose stricter regulations on it. Some policy restrictions require Apple to adjust its operating strategy in China, which undoubtedly puts pressure on Apple. Coupled with the return of Huawei's mobile phone business, Apple became anxious. This is why Cook has invested a lot of publicity resources in the Chinese market. Not only has he personally come to China many times to participate in various public events and communicate face-to-face with Chinese consumers, he has also actively participated in various public welfare activities and donated money to Chinese charities. This move not only enhances the positive image of the Apple brand, but also makes Chinese consumers deeply feel Apple's sincerity and emphasis on the Chinese market. In the global technology market, competition has always been an inevitable topic. Especially in a huge market like China, every change may attract global attention. In recent years, Apple's position in China has been challenged by local brands such as Huawei, which has undoubtedly made market competition more intense. Huawei, as a Chinese technology giant, has achieved outstanding results in the Chinese market with its strong R&D strength and brand influence. Its mobile phone sales once surpassed Apple and became the leader in the Chinese market. At the same time, expected sales of the iPhone 15 series have declined due to various factors. This has placed Apple's position in the Chinese market under unprecedented challenge. In this regard, Apple did not choose to escape. Instead, it took a series of actions to respond to this competitive pressure. Apple has further increased its focus on the Chinese market, increased investment in China, and improved the localization level of its products to better meet the needs of Chinese consumers. Apple has also strengthened its partnership with China, hoping to increase its market share in China through cooperation. Despite these measures taken by Apple, the pressure of market competition is still great. This is why Apple became anxious. Cook visited China again, donated $25 million, and suspended the transfer of the industrial chain. Cook's visit is considered another important step for Apple to attach importance to the Chinese market. Through donations and public events, Apple hopes to strengthen its ties with Chinese consumers and improve the brand's positive image. The decision to suspend the transfer of the industrial chain is also considered to be Apple's sensitive response to the current market environment. In an increasingly competitive environment, Apple has chosen to stabilize the existing industrial chain and ensure the stability of product supply to cope with possible market fluctuations. Facing market competition, Apple has adopted a series of response strategies aimed at stabilizing its position in the Chinese market and establishing closer ties with Chinese consumers.